A very good morning, class. We are in chapter number 3, Indus Valley Civilization. Before I come to the chapter, there is a small notice for all. There will be a class test of chapter number 2 on coming Monday, means 28th of June. In the evening, we will be having an online class test of this. So kindly prepare for this. I have told you all even in the live class, but once again I am reminding you all. Okay, prepare well for the chapter number 2 on coming Monday. Okay, 28th June. This is what I have written over here. 28th June, you have a test of chapter number 2. Okay. So we began with the Indus Valley Civilization. We saw that Indus Valley Civilization is a planned civilization. It's a planned form of civilization. And the major cities or the important cities are Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. The remains of these cities are found in India as well as in Pakistan. The major part is in Pakistan and some parts are even found in India, like Lothal in Gujarat, Rupar in Punjab, Kalibangan. All these places covers some remains of this civilization in India. So we are learning that this civilization is said to be one of the greatest civilization of the history of India or of the history. The reason for saying so is that this civilization is believed to be the most planned civilization. Everything was in a order, everything was in a civilized form. The people lived in a very happy manner, they lived a very civilized life, as well as they were involved or they did everything that could give a growth to their life. The type of life that they spent is somewhere down the line is ideal what we are following today. There was a concept of street lighting which we have it today. There was a concept of proper drainage system beside the river, beside the road. That is what we are following today. There was a concept of hall room, kitchen and bathroom. That was the concept over there when the building was constructed. That is what we are following today. So we can understand the people of those civilizations were civilized, they understood the needs and accordingly they lived a happy life. As far as occupation is concerned, farming was one of the major occupations in which major part of the population was involved. So that is what we are going to talk today, the life of the people of Indus Valley civilization. What were the major professions or major occupations in which the people were involved and what all were the major sources of earning for them, income for them. As far as the major occupations are concerned, there were farmers, weavers, potters, metal workers, toy makers, jewelers, stone cutters, traders. All these were major professions in which the people were involved and they made their livelihood. They created a source of earning for them and they lived happily. When we come to the farming, they used all sources of means of irrigation, like sickle was used, bullock carts were not discovered, but a cart-like structure was used, domestic animals were used, and the basic crops that they grew was wheat and barley. When we see the granary structure of Mohenjo-daro, we found that the grains which have been found by our archaeologists, by our historians, this shows that wheat and barley was the major crop. Apart from that, there were some other crops which were produced by Indus Valley people were gram, peas, maize, millets. These were apart from wheat and barley, these other crops were there which were produced by the people of Indus Valley civilization. Apart from farming, pot making turned out to be another major occupation for them. They used clay or the mud and with the help of that they made pots. It was not a simple pot, but rather it was a very skilled pot in a very decorative form. All sort of colors were used, all sort of inscriptions were used, all sort of paintings were drawn, so that one can be differentiated from the other. It can be recognized from far off places. So pot making turned out to be another major business or another major opportunity to earn. The third was toy making and sculpture. They did have the skill, they did have the artistic skill to make the toys and sculptures. For that, they sculpted the statues which would look ideally like a god that we follow today. Okay, but there was no concept of God as such, because they believed in the forces of nature. They worshipped the nature, they believed that nature is the main god, and because of that only everything changes or everything takes place. So there was no god thing like, but they drew the sculpture, they drew the statues with the help of the metals that were available during those days. The basic metals which were found were copper and bronze. These are two metals which they used and made statues. Not only with the help of metals only, but even with the mud or the clay they used to draw the statues. Then another source of income was spinning and weaving of clothes. Okay, they spun and weaved different types of clothes which the people wore during those days. As far as dress is concerned, if you look at the dress part of the Indus people, the women had different sort of dress and the men had different sort of dress. Like, women wore a shawl around the shoulder and a short skirt held at a wrist by girdle. As far as women is concerned, she wore a short skirt and she used to cover her body by a shawl and used to wrap it and tie it near the wrist part. As far as men is concerned, men wore a long, loose, unstitched garment. Unstitched garment here means that they used to simply wrap up themselves without being in stitched form, without being in a compiled form. And there were even light ornaments. So ornaments were basically in the form of either bronze or copper, or with the help of seal, whatever they made, they used to tie it in their neck. Seal was another sort of fashionable ornament for them, which they used to wear. Metal casting. The Indus people produced tools, weapons with the help of copper and bronze. Okay, they used different weapons which would help them in the farming process, which would help them in the general day-to-day need. Building industry, that was a major source. This is because they were known as great planner or great builder. The building industry provided employment to a large number of people. Brick making was an important craft. Brick making was an important craft because we have seen that baked brick was used for the construction of buildings. Many kilns are basically large ovens through which a brick is baked, and that is used for the construction of building materials. Okay. Last, one more business source was seal making. They used to make the seals either in the rectangular or square form of different types, and they used to inscribe on it images of animals or images of human beings. Okay, those were used for tying. They used to use it as a type of fashion or a type of ornaments, and they used to wear around their neck. In the seal there used to be a hole inside. You can see an image of it. The first one, you can see a round in a square shape, and there is a hole inside in which the thread is passed, and that is tied on the neck. One more purpose for this, it was used as that all the domestic animals which they had, they used to name it. The naming was done with the help of seal making only. On the seal they used to draw the pictures of the animals and they used to tie it in their neck. That used to differentiate one from the other, that this animal, this goat, this cow, this ox belongs to so and so person. Okay, so that was another major source through which people generated the income. Then there are some sources of trade even, not only in inbound trade but even outbound, means overseas trade was even seen. because the shipping dockyards which were found is somewhat down the line indicated that there was a overseas trade existed during those times, and a code was used which was Melwa. Melwa was the code that was used during those days. Melwa means itself Indus Valley civilization. Okay, means these products, these goods are coming from the Indus Valley civilization. So class, with this we come to the end of this today's class. In the next class we shall discuss about the religious worship and the causes of decline of such a big civilization. Once again, we have a test of chapter number 2 on coming Monday. So kindly prepare well for this. Thank you.